It's Only Sport with Martin Devlin on the platform. Brought to you by One New Zealand. Let's get connected.
It's time. It's episode 102, and then we press pause for now. Mark Watson, the ATM podcast. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us over 102 episodes, which is 2 bloody years worth, mate. Good on you.
Oh, look, it's been fun, Marty. It's always just nice to be able to come out on a forum which is about free speech and being able to sort of speak openly and honestly and just be able to call it as you see it and knowing that your audience is bought into that concept. Otherwise, they wouldn't be listening. And I really enjoy that, and I think we need more of it. And yeah, I mean, you're exactly the same. I think we're two peas in a pod at times, Martin. And it's and look, and I do think there is a bit of a swing back to the style and type of radio and opinion that we try and do.
Yeah, I hope so, mate. And that's the intention, to go independent, start it all again. So we'll be in touch in a few weeks. We've got topics to talk about, mate. All Black squad, your expectations of this Northern Hemisphere tour. White Ferns play Aussie overnight. Black Ferns, what the hell has gone wrong with that side? James O'Connor, you want to mention as well, going to the Crusaders. Let's start with the All Black squad, though, named yesterday.
Apologise to me!
No great shakes or surprises, really. So Tutu, a minor surprise, I suppose, not being included. Maybe he gets named today in the 15. I refuse to call it the All Blacks 15, Mark. I don't know about you, but I'm a traditionalist here. I'm not going to call it an All Black side, which is not an All Black side, an All Black side. Let's put that marker down.
Yeah, you've got all these high-powered people at New Zealand Rugby that take these jobs, and they're supposed to understand about brand and brand management, you know. And I was lucky enough to do my postgraduate degree in Canada in sport and event marketing, and I did an internship with Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment and around the Maple Leafs and the Raptors, and then I came home and basically did 3 years as sports marketing manager at Nike. And you know, when you work for Nike, you understand what you can do and can't do with the swoosh. And I look at the All Black brand, and the All Blacks are about precision performance and no compromise. Now, if you're going to start leaning the word All Black to the A team and to the New Zealand Sevens team, then you need to make sure that they're given the same resource. You'll need to make sure that their expectation is that they win everything. And I haven't seen it with the Sevens. I haven't seen it with the so-called New Zealand A or All Black A teams or whatever they want to call it. And you've got to be really careful, because it just starts to sound like you're actually just franchising the word All Blacks. And the last thing you want is not being able to control that brand, because there are people out there, or the depth of playing talent is simply not good enough to live up to those traditions. And so I think it is really dumb. So I'm with you on that one. With the All Black squad itself, nothing really surprising in it whatsoever. I mean, I don't think he was ever going to really drop anyone from the squad that was named for the Rugby Championship. There was always going to be that opportunity for Cam Roigard to come back in from injury, which meant that probably Noah Hotham was going to miss out. I do feel for Finlay Christie. I think Finlay Christie's time in the All Black jersey's done. For whatever reason, he's just sort of fallen out of favour. Maybe a little bit like Sean Stevenson and Hoskins Sotutu, case in point. I do think in time we're going to see even a heavier Crusader influence. But look, there's a part of me that's frustrated that I guess TJ Perenara has been picked. I'm not so frustrated with Sam Cane. I've become a real Sam Cane fan. But, you know, we've said it in the past. We just want to win every test in front of us, don't we? And I think that we probably do need experience in key positions when we try and beat England and we try and beat Ireland and we try and beat France. And I think Sam Cane always needed to go on this tour. And probably for the same reasons TJ Perenara. For me, I guess it's more still midfield. I still would have liked to have seen Billy Proctor get a bit more game time and Ashura get an opportunity against Japan. But it's that whole thing is like, well, if you drop, who do you bring in? And it's very hard to sort of gauge on NPC, isn't it? We see how open that is from week to week and how poor the defences are. I think David Havili's probably the really lucky one for me. And I probably... and Stephen Perifetta coming back in is probably a little bit lucky to get picked as well.
Yeah, okay. A lot to unpack there, isn't it? What are our expectations when we go? I mean, you know, look, these are who we've got. These are the players. We always take, it just seems, so many these days when we travel overseas. And you look at the amount of money being spent, because it's not just the players, it's the travelling party that goes with them as well. I mean, this is a hell of an investment, isn't it? This is where the money goes, people, as far as New Zealand rugby is concerned. It goes to the All Blacks, to those representative sides. And Mark Robinson can say as much as he likes now publicly, the NPC is a great competition. We'll support it, fund it, invest in it, develop it.
Apologise to me!
I want to move on to the White Ferns. And you and me, are copping a fair bit on social media about this. Why? Because we actually tell the truth, Mark. The results this year have been dreadful. The hype around this team is undeserved. As far as professional athletes go, serious questions need to be asked. But then, fair play to them. They got a great win, the White Ferns, against India the other day to open up the World Cup campaign. They play Australia overnight, probably not going to win that one. It comes down to that match against Pakistan. And if they win that, they might make the semi-finals. Good on them. But that still, to me, doesn't actually mean that what has gone on this year has not gone on. Has it?
Yeah, no, I agree with it. It does my head in when they can lose 10, suddenly win one, and all those namesayers who say nothing, I call them cowards-wise, after the fact, jump up and down and go, you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, look, T20 cricket is fickle even amongst the best sides, but when you lose 10 straight and you only win, 17 out of the last 20 or 18 out of the last 21 games, I mean, I think it's fair to say that this team is crap, this team is overrated, this team is overpaid, and that our women's cricket team is pretty damn average. And we would say exactly the same thing, or we do say exactly the same thing with the Warriors. We've said really the same thing about the All Blacks when they've dropped 3 tests and potentially could still drop some more. So I think we've been fairly consistent in our criticism. It's just obviously the moment it's a women's team, you tend to get sort of maligned a lot more. But look, they're not a great side. Well done, they beat India. But let's not kid ourselves. Indian women's cricket is not the Indian men's team. Let's not forget that. You've always got to chance the shorter format of a game. And I think it's more concerning that, based on that we have lost as many as we've lost. Because I sort of look at T20 cricket a lot of the time as almost being like a bit of the toss of a coin. There's probably still a 50 to 50 or 60, 40, 50, 50 chance of winning the game a lot of the time. And yet we've failed to do that. Look, to be honest, I'm sitting here. I don't actually want them to win, Martin. That's going to sound terrible.
Wow.
Because I actually want to shake up. My concern is that if they were to get another win, that would just iron over the cracks. Nothing's wrong. The 169 staff at New Zealand Cricket would just continue to go on their jolly way. The high performance staff would give themselves a big pat on the back, and it would all just be lost. And where I think, sometime for real change, for people to actually admit that things aren't right, you actually need to hit rock bottom. And so there is a part of me that just wants this team to hit rock bottom. Not because I want to be right, Martin, but just because I do want to see change. We all know change needs to come. And I think the biggest change that actually needs to happen is just stop paying them. And I know we're going to touch on the Black Ferns as well, but it's interesting, isn't it? The moment the money's come into women's cricket, the moment the money's come into women's rugby, I think our performances have actually gone backwards. And look, I've said the same thing. I think, the Warriors and a lot of our professional teams, our highest paid sports teams, there is just, there's no jeopardy anymore. There's no skin in the game. Life's all just a little bit too easy. And you would have heard me say this in the past. I mean, the greatest ingredient you want in any athlete is passion and desire, but the only way you really test that, and only really test resolve in an athlete, is to put them in an adverse situation. And I think that's the problem now. I just don't see any adversity. Media leave them alone. Coaches leave them alone. They seem to get picked week in, week out, no matter what the results and no matter what the performance is.
Apologise to me!
It's Only Sport with Martin Devlin on the platform. Brought to you by One New Zealand. Let's get connected.